What do you think your visit to Whitegate?
I'm impressed, lad.
Is it?
I'm impressed now. Do you know, I used to come over to Clare riding their camper van there, and
yeah.
But over here around the lake is savage, like.
Yeah.
And I would have never gone over here.
It's a hidden gem, kind of.
Like you're blessed with the scenery, but you're not really blessed with the size of the fields.
No, some of them are. Some of the little places are big. You know, there's 2 farms there are big, and it just depends, you know.
Yeah. Like I see the boys mowing these actual fields here now yesterday, like, and I was saying
they're small.
Like they were in here with the doubles and the triple mowers.
Yeah.
And sure, I was saying like, the double mower went first, and I was saying to twat more to man while put in open up the tankos, like.
Yeah, I'd often, if you were kind of near them, you'd try to split them up and put one lead mow on somewhere and another lead mow on another place. You know, that's generally the better way of doing it.
Yeah.
But you can't get them too far ahead, you know, in this weather at the moment because grasses are dry.
Yeah, it's a lot of stemmy old stuff around here as well, like.
Yeah, well, this stuff wouldn't be grazed out at all now, and this is kind of, I'd say, in winter time, it's kind of tricky getting cattle down here, I'd say. You know, you're by the lake and that kind of thing. He said it's lease ground, so.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't look to be fenced for cattle anyway, so.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too. So it would be.
Well, come here. I suppose you need the 2 sets of mowers now to keep ahead of this machine.
We'd come here. Them tankers are good if you can get the right fields in them. You'll mow 15 to 20 acres an hour.
Yeah.
Right. It just depends on the going, but when we're mixing and matching, often if you can use the doubles to open up the field and go on to the next field and leave the tankers do the centres, it works well, you know.
Yeah.
But no, we like them tankers. I like the concept of them. Like, there's only across the water the men designed and built them in need.
Yeah, I never really seen a set working before. Now I know there was a set up in GRASSMEN a couple of years ago before my time. It's just to kind of, you know, the whole idea was you could drive these mowers with ease on a 200 horsepower tractor.
Yeah.
And they tried them out and look, it worked. There was a few little things that time now that needed to be improved upon as far as I know, and sure, look, obviously the man, he probably went back and took on that feedback and went back and changed a few bits or whatever, but like you're happy with them, are you?
I am, yeah. We demoed them there about 2 years ago, and we were debating about what to do, and I eventually went with him. Come here, we'd love a big M, but the cost of them, they're kind of gone out of reach now. Even though we're doing a lot of grass, it's the cost of it.
Yeah,
it's just we can use the tractors here, we can utilise them after. I can pull them off the mowers and put them on a long draw, do you know, that kind of thing. It works better for me that way. That's what I see. We said we'd knock another. We were kind of mowing with a double set of front and rear class mowers, and in fairness, them class green line mowers, they're great. They're great mowers.
That's what I'm hearing all over the world, that they can't be bet like.
They can't. They just have the stuff in them.
And they be tested around here.
And they're great to shave ground, is what we'd see. They get into all the nooks and crannies, and if you set them up right. So we'd be looking at buying another double set going forward. And I didn't buy the front class or the front tank more. I just wasn't gone on them. So we kind of ran the class this year and we said, let's see how we get on.
Yeah.
And we might buy a new class more for next year.
What didn't you like about the Tango front more?
Just sitting that bit further forward, you know, for the places we were going in and out of.
More awkward getting in and out of gateways, more than that.
Yeah. That's. I just said, no, I could be totally wrong, but just from what we saw of it, that's what we said we'd go with this year, and we'll see how we go on in. We'll do something next year for next year. I've them class mores now. They've a good 17. I got bought them in, like they've a lot of work done.
Yeah.
So we'd update them. You know, they owe us nothing. So.
Yeah. And sure, like them Tanko mores, you've them on a 175 John Deere.
Yeah, she's and even you could probably do it a bit bigger. She'd have a small map got.
Small map.
She would have, but she'd only be putting out about 225, 230. That's all.
Yeah.
But she's well able from. But cooling, you'd be saying you might, you know, if you had a bigger cooling package in the front of the tractor, it might work a bit better. But no, well able from. We actually had them on the case before that.
Yeah, Pa was saying now she's a bit sluggish, alright, but she did drive them like.
She did, but just the case hadn't got the manuals. She's only manual spools, and from an operating point of view, it was a bit awkward. The GPS was in the John Deere, and she's the arse steer, so we set her up for that, and we just said we'd go over it. You know, we'll say with the steering, John is a great man for arse steer. He spent so long in America at it, and nearly every field he'd go into, he'd set up
AV lines,
AV lines, everything, no matter what side to be. The rakeman follows, and you can see it as you go through the ground. You know, I can see it, the benefit of it.
Yeah, the lads were kind of telling me there when they're running the auto steer and the GPS and the mowers and the rake and stuff there. If you put the rake out at last, he can just about bring in the 40 foot. He'll grab the 4 rows. Yeah. If they're left out kind of narrow.
Yeah. He will. Yeah, because the headland is always the full. He'll have it fully.
Yeah.
And like you're putting a lot of stuff into the machine, then, you know. 40
foot around here is a big sport stuff.
You saw that now on Thursday, didn't you?
Yeah. Now look, you got one light field in fairness. There was it yesterday.
Yeah, but that wasn't even light, that field. That was yielding nearly 28 tonne to the acre, or 28 tonne to hectare on that, on the harvest lab there.
Yeah.
The rows looked small, but stuff in it was fierce heavy.
Yeah.
So and then we did 2 light fields that were in toppings after, I suppose. So.
You seem to be looking up around here, though, the way you're kind of geographically, you're going from farmer to farmer, and you're not over and back the road. And because as I discovered this week now, Clare is a big county when you're driving from east to west.
Yeah, and you have to work with them. And this area now, we were here last week and we'd done 2, and we'd have done 2 on the way over and 2 on the way back. Yeah. Unless we've done the same now, this time coming over. And you'd kind of have to come around, and you do. Sure, we're here since Thursday evening, so we're out of it kind of tonight, and we're kind of going over towards the Callahan's Mills now next, and that's on the way back, and we're actually going to take it tomorrow off, would you believe?
I'll go away.
It is the first Sunday, I'd say Sunday, June bank, Sunday bank holiday weekend I've ever had off. That's a fact.
So I'll tell you now, no pressure on these men over here.
Yeah, just the weather's there now, and there's 10 days of weather in the forecast, like, there's no panic, and there's no one roaring, no one gives the fiddlers, and that's... If it was raining now, to be a different story, or there was talks of rain Thursday to be...
Every fella be roaring.
Yeah. Because you can see if that kind of crop gets wet now, you're into massive tonnage altogether.
Oh, forget about it. Sure, look, you'd have some job trying to ride again, like.
Wouldn't you? Yeah, other than that, sure, come here, that's what we'd want to. We need them big rows, and we need something big to pick them up on.
Well, you've the right machine now anyway?
Yeah, it isn't bad at all now, is it? It isn't bad.
You're after moving from class to John Deere?
Yeah, and it was a big move. And it wasn't a decision taken lightly, but I suppose kind of we've a great local dealer.
Yeah, Geary's,
yeah, and I suppose John Deere would have run a great show, and he's actually a great bunch of lads. He's a great bunch of mechanics, and even the lads and parts, and down to his salesman. Sure, he's a right good salesman to swing me now, hasn't he?
I'd say you were easy enough persuaded though, because you like the old John Deere tractors as well, like.
Yeah, well, we've kind of stuck with them now, because in fairness we're getting a great service.
Yeah.
And they're 15 minutes from my yard.
Yeah, whereas when you went to class, McCarthy's are a couple hours away.
They're 3 hours away. Yeah. And you know, if anything went wrong, you to send someone before you went working on it. And
yeah, there was 6 hours gone.
6 hours gone there straight away
just
before you
back. Like.
Yeah, and I just come here. We'd 1 or 2 things with the last harvester, and we just said here, these boys, they gave us a demo of one of these in heavy second cuts there in August last year, and it was only by chance I said bring it on because they've demoed John Deere with us before, and we weren't really gone in them 8000 series. But we got a drive in one of these, and geez, we were right impressed with it. So we said we'd go with it. Well, we hummed and hawed, and we were dealing with class as well at the same time. But I suppose John Deere it was a better fit, and I was kind of more into the Harvest Lab as well.
Yeah, you wanted to go for use the Harvest Lab for the slurry as well.
Yeah, we were piping a lot of slurry now, and I want to get variable rates spreading the slurry now. We'll say be the next thing on the cards for us. Probably maybe from January on next year.
And is there demand for that kind of thing around here now from the younger dairy farmers, we'll say, or lads getting into that
since
stuff?
I got this, they all want to know what their silage is all about.
Yeah. You're getting the use out of the Harvest Lab.
Yes, and they're looking for the reports, and
but the big question now is, are they willing to pay the extra for the reports?
Well, they probably won't, but in time you'll put it to. We went on a trip there to Germany with John Deere, and we got to meet a big contractor running all John Deere equipment, and he's running Harvest Labs, and his wife, that's what she spends her time doing.
Right.
She does all the reports, and she does the contouring of the AB lines, and she's charging now for that. And she's charging the farmers for that, if you understand me. Because I suppose compaction is going to be a big thing going forward.
It is.
We're all heading that way, and I know people will be saying in Clare we're talking rubbish, but we've some great farmers in the county, that's what I would say, and they'd be up there with a lot of them, if you know what I mean. And I know we might have the ground as good as some of the other counties, but they're utilising it and they're getting the most out of it.
As the fella said, you're not in the Golden Vale, but you're not far away either.
Yeah, that's it. I would, exactly. I consider we've some great land to cut. And I consider the farmers here in East Clare are very good. They're very good farmers to get what they can out of their bit of land, and so.
But this machine, like, she's brand new this year. She's the new 18 litre engine, non-ad blue.
Yes.
And she's the 9600, which is it's the fourth biggest one in the range.
Yeah.
Now you don't have the new header, which is I don't know what's going on there, but you said Rob Hill wouldn't sell it to you, but
they didn't want to sell it to me. They said battle away with this one this year and see. Now I would miss the extra set of times on the pickup reel. That I would miss now. Other than that, she's good. She's plenty good. Headers here would get a battering. So they would.
But like the new 30R header, like we've one above at the minute on a 9700i demo, and she has the new header, and like it's a serious job. Big auger now. Some jobs take grass, but these older headers, it was nearly the light grass was the problem for these. Like,
was it? Yeah, well, what I see there now is if you're on roughish kind of ground and if you go out over a hump at all, the header doesn't drop fast enough.
Right, and
then
but that can maybe be adjusted, could it?
We've tweaked it, but I just see that's the only thing now I'd have with her, and then she might ball a bit of grass in front of her, but no, she's well able to take grass. There's no problem that way. I can get serious throughput out of it, like. I'm awful impressed with it.
Do you reckon you're going to just stay with that header now, or will you try and get the new one for next year?
Well, I'd like to get a demo of the new one to compare like with like. That's what I would have, and just to see. But we'll see how she goes and what she'll need at the end of the year. And it's ground round here will be tough, especially when it's dry in a year. It can be hard on a header. Do you know? I know on the class header I rebuilt it there after 3 years completely nearly. Do you know? Just between tines and everything else, but.
And what about in beyond the header then? What drum have you got? How many knives?
40 knife drum, and I'm running a full set. I find she runs very smooth. Some would run a 48 and 3/4 set of knives, but I have a full set of knives. And you know, I've had her open a few times there, and they're wearing well. And I find she's just a good joke to take grass.
Now one above, we've got one above now. I think she's on a 64 knife drum. But obviously up the north they need to be able to demo for biogas stuff, and they need to be able to chop to like 4 mil.
Would you be taking knives out there regularly, I'd say, would you?
Well, sure, if you're going to do it for a dairy farmer then, he don't want 4 mil.
No.
You're going to have to take out half set of knives then probably, like.
Like we're chopping there to 25 mil, like, and that's as long as she can chop to. And that's kind of what farmers want.
So you the full set opened out at last, basically.
And that's your men in the pit can handle it. It's lovely stuff to deal with. That's what it is. You'll get some hairy stuff through it too, you know, with the multi-knife drum. it slips through, you know. So, but no, it works well now, and I'm happy with it. I like this machine. I like the way she's running. I am impressed. The cab is wicked comfortable for spending a long day in it. I'm not getting out with it bent over.
Yeah.
Which I used to, and I used to have an awful job straightening.
No, I can't say the passenger seat is too comfortable, but sure, look, we'll get over
You're
that.
sitting higher now as well. That's something class, the lower seat is handy to see out. But no, I would consider it, and you see, didn't do this platform here, and I can take that out now and put it into a tractor.
Yeah.
Right, and same with we'll say the dome on the roof.
But even the harvest lab, you can take that out and put it on the bench in the workshop there, put grass into it.
Put grass into it, and then I can go on to slurry tanker, or I can go on to an umbilical system. So like, with regard, just the John Deere thing seems to be a better fit for what we're doing in the lines that we've all this, and we're heading for this data, and we're heading for, we'll say, doing AB lines, and we'll say
they're out on their own there, like.
And like in 20 years' time, with the shortage of men and that kind of stuff, like, and
I'd say 2 years' time.
I don't know how we'd manage robots around these fields.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But speaking of men now, how do you find it for getting lads last couple of years?
We're not too bad now. We'd run a crew. They're with us a long time, a lot of them, and
they're good crack anyway.
Yeah, and they keep coming back and they enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of them would be farmers, or they'd be suckler farmers, or there was one of them a dairy farmer's son there, and we kind of get on well, and they all gel and they enjoy it, and that's, to me, if the lads don't enjoy it, we don't have, it's no good. And we'd be blooding some new lads there. We always kind of blood new fellas in the second cuts, right?
The hand you're going like
for next year.
All right,
right, just to get the swing of it and see how they'd be, and we'd be able to give lads more time off. I suppose we're kind of looking at the point in the winter time. We do the slurry 8 to 5 Monday to Friday, right? We're not for staying out late and slurry, and I'm trying to mind them in for this kind of season. That's the way we work it, and you have to kind of look after people now, because they've a lot going on. They've a lot of stuff going on at home. And their wives are working, there's kids to be minding, there's all that kind of stuff. And I think that, you know, it is no longer a game just for yahoos to be driving tractors. It's a game. It's there's actually a career out of this. I think that with this technology. It's no longer just there is a season you can make a living out of tractor driving in the country. Okay, November and December won't be as busy in this county, but from January to the end of October we're busy.
Well, the way slurry is gone, like, slurry is a massive thing everywhere now, like, compared to what it was like years ago. Slurry was just a hindrance. It was a tank full of stuff that had to be gotten rid of. Now slurry is really being utilised. Yeah,
it is, and that's what I see. And if you've lads that are into a bit of that and into the technical side of it, they enjoy it, and it's not a bad job, like. And I don't see, like, slurry isn't a dirty job if you mind yourself and if you use your head at it, and
you have reasonably nice gear, I suppose. Like.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it's down to. You have to use, and you don't be coming home smelling a slurry, and I don't, so. And I usually be driving the pipes myself mainly, myself and Pa. We're kind of the two lads that drive the pipes. And, you know, it's a grand job. But again, you see the rigs in America and how they do it, and how people make livings out of it. Slurry is kind of slurry and silage and a bit of reseeding, and we'd be spreading fertilizer, and we do a shot of spraying as well, and lime.
Yeah, and you had trucks there once, you're kind of back to one now,
Yeah, we're back to one truck now, really, and we had a lot of trouble with men and stuff, and I suppose we were 20 years at it, and we were with a big customer. They looked after us one time, but there was a change there too, and the dynamic changed, and so that all changes. Come here, everything in life changes, doesn't it? I prefer agriculture, and we're here closer to home. We're always only 40-45 minutes to an hour from home. A lorry there, no matter where you are, you always have to get home. Do you know that? You could be 2 days away, or you could be 3 hours away, but you still have to get home. And that's what I suppose, agriculture is nice that way. And we were kind of brought up on a farm, and we've always been farming. I'm farming as well now myself on top of it. And come here, you have to make, my young lads are small now too, and it's nice to be around for them. And come here, I consider there is a future in agriculture. There's a lot of people would say, you know, what we're doing here isn't a real job, but it is a real job, and we're kind of, if we don't have us doing the work for the farmers we're doing it for, there's going to be no milk and no beef, and
as we say, no farmers, no food, no future.
That's the reality of it. So that's now what we'll be trying to do. So
Yeah, I was saying earlier, you're nearly all John Deere tractors, but there's still a couple of red ones around there.
The rear case, yeah, we're Samco are they're a new case dealer in Adare, and actually the fella I bought my first John Deere tractor off of a selling from.
All right.
And
you're kind of staying loyal to him
we're
a little bit.
I know I will, and we're doing a bit with them just to see. They're a nice tractor.
Yeah.
And
what, you have two 165s, is it?
Yeah, and they're a nice all-rounder. And they've actually have a new cab coming now. We've seen it in the factory, and it's fabulous. It's a real driver's tractor, do you know? So he always drives that tractor. He likes it, and I've heard no complaints, and we don't really have any issues with them.
Yeah.
So come here.
But you do have the green in the blood, like.
Yeah. Come here. If you asked me that a long time ago, I wouldn't have been. But come here, when I see the service we're getting, and it comes down to that, lads. And when you see they're the dealer and what they can do for you, and the mechanics, and come here, I couldn't swing another way.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. It's all down to that now, I think, in today's world, that whatever's down the road, and if they're giving you great service, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Do you know? So.
And then you've a bit of a mix of trailers, but you've a couple of herons there now, and they're in the County Clare colours.
They are, yeah, the banner, yeah, but they're come here, they're great for where we to be in hilly country, and they're very steady, and that's why we like them. And the maintenance we just kind of bought second hand.
Yeah.
I'd like another heron, I suppose, or two.
But then I suppose, like, your silage trailers are probably sitting idle all the winter, are they?
Well, we do wood chip for a company in Dublin, and we'd have a tractor going probably 3 to 4 days a week during the winter at wood chip, and we're supplying into, we'll say, industrial heaters.
Yeah.
That's what we're supplying into, and so we'll be tipping away at that, but surprise you what them silage trailers get used for. Yeah.
And the heron trailers then, they're 16 ton in Northern Ireland language, which in Southern Ireland language is 20 foot.
Yes.
As we call them.
Yeah.
And with steer axles.
Steer axles and 10 leaves spring suspension, yeah.
It's a 20 foot trailer your limit around here, like?
Well, we find it works well for us. We have them two blacksmiths, right? And they are 20 foot as well, 40 cubes. But they work well, and some I know of other contractors and they're running 22s.
Yeah.
Right? I like the 20s, and they suit the tractor that's pulling them.
Yeah.
We'd have mainly them 155 horsepower tractors pulling them, whereas if you went to 22, you might need something a bit bigger. Yeah. You know, so that suits us, and that's how we'd be. It works for us, that's the way.
But you'd still go for a new heron if you were buying a new trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
William Heron would be delighted.
Yeah. Sure, him and Garrett are great buddies, like, so he'll get their plug here anyway. And them Smiths you have there, they're just hired in.
Yeah.
I see they have the Holden. I didn't actually know Holden hired silage trailers. But
yeah, we've been hiring them off him for a long time now, and it suits, they're perfect. We use them mainly for long draws.
Yeah.
And we'd have float one in and out here and there. They're great for that size of a long draw, but they're killer for the men in the pit, like, especially in the small yard.
Alright.
Do you know, that size of a load coming into you need a good yard for it, you know, so that's...
You have a good man on the pit, though.
Yeah, he's at it a long time.
He didn't start this year last, right?
No, I'd say back in about 88, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to him yesterday and he told me he started off with a Cat 910, so that'll tell you enough.
Yeah, he was with Powers, and they were in the county in the late 80s, early 90s. And he was with them, so that's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
You know, and he knows that he has it. And all I like about him is I can set a pace to him, and Charlie will keep it in, and that's it, you know. And I don't send him in massive loads.
Yeah.
And he's happy with that, and that's the way you're working with him. He's a good lad.
Well, come here, what do you think of the Volvo loader?
I couldn't go away from him.
Yeah. Because you were JCB before that,
we were, with a 44. Come here, that Volvo loader is a serious shovel.
Yeah.
And she's only getting going, like. We only use her for silage, nothing else.
Nothing else.
No. And we're even, like, the tyres are well down there now.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd be buying a set maybe last week or the week before, but the grass is dry. And we said we'll back away another, we'll get the first cuts out of them anyways. And no, come here, there's serious shovel. There's a lot of lads going 110s and stuff like that, but geez, in this county we wouldn't be able from.
Yeah.
The size of the yards we go into.
Like, what size of a fork have you got in front of
14 foot, yeah. And like, he's well able to manage it. And what we started doing this year was the lad in the case there, he'll throw off the trailer. If we 5 there, and he'll go rolling, and himself and Charlie get on well together.
Yeah.
They're able to work, and he's smaller, he's able to get out of the way quicker.
Yeah.
Do you know, and that works. It's worked just because I can keep up my pace then.
Yeah.
And I don't have to slow down. the shovelman isn't telling me he's getting it tough. And we have another shovel that we hire, an L60G, and we've only used it a handful of times.
Yeah.
It's more of a backup than anything else if anything goes down. So
You reckon the 70 is plenty good enough?
come here, 'tis lively. She's 14 ton. She's 175 horsepower. She's very lively.
Yeah.
Do you know? But them Volvos, like, there's serious longevity in them. Do you know? They're not a shovel you'll be changing that often.
Yeah.
And we'll paint up the weight block on her now this winter. We thought we'd get it done this spring, but we didn't get time because the slurry was so busy. And she'll get a new set of rubber, and she'll be plenty good.
Yeah. Like, there's no bad machine now, like. It mostly, I'd say, comes down to, well, either, look, loyalty going back generations, or else local dealer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally, there is none of them bad now, like.
No,
Out of
come here,
foreigners.
it's down to that, isn't it? It's down to your dealer.
Yeah.
And the service you're getting. That's how you get on well with them, and that's what it's down to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, same with tractors, same with cars, same with Jeeps, isn't it? So.
You have a New Holland tractor there in the rake. Is that yours, or is that?
That's, no, Sean McInerney, he does my rake, and it's my rake, he does it for me.
Oh, yeah.
He's been doing it for me for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And it suits, it works. Sean's a great lad. And I like that kind of system.
Yeah.
If you can find someone that likes to come in and do it and does it well, come here.
Suits him and it suits you.
Suits, that's it. And Sean is a hedge cutter, and he does the world hedge cutting after then. And Charlie's a hedge cutter, he does the world hedge cutting. So, owner drivers are a nice thing.
Yeah.
Do you know? And Sean's gone farming a bit there now, so we'll see. I'd say he's at it, he likes it. So, he seems to like it. It's kind of a breakthrough for him, you know, and gets him out.
Watching you the Crown rake, because you had a class, a job before that.
Yeah, we actually had the class up to only lately, and we sold it, but we didn't do anything with it the last 2 years.
Alright.
It raked a bit of hay. That's all it raked, a bit of hay last year. And we bought a Crown there 2-3 years ago, and we thought it made a way nicer row. And do you know, the tines and all that, and the bars, there was none of that bending or breaking.
Right, the class is a bit softer, I reckon.
We'd find that, you know what, the heavy swarts were picking,
Yeah.
the bars would bend slightly, you'd barely see them, and the trick is you take them off and you put them onto the other rotor,
Oh, yeah.
and it'll straighten them again. But then the tines themselves would break regularly, and you'd be constantly putting on, you know, tines.
Yeah.
And so we just happened to come on a big 930 rake that was at good value, and it had only 2 seasons done, and we bought it. And we were happy with it, so we ended up buying a new one last year. And yeah, we're running that, and like, we haven't touched it.
Yeah, sturdy machine, like.
We haven't even put a tine on it.
Right.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So, and again, that comes down to Sean driving it. He's the one man, he looks after it.
Yeah.
He knows it.
He looks after like it's his own rake. Like.
Yeah, and that's, come here, that's the reality of it, like. So it's, we try to, in this fleet now, it's always one tractor, one driver.
Yeah.
That's your tractor for the summer. Same with the trailers, even we try to, that's your trailer, mind it, drive it, and that's the way we would like to work it with lads. Do you know, everyone has their own bit of kit and they mind it, and it's the way we try to do it. Do you know, young lads, I suppose the gear's gone so valuable now, and it's hard to let 16, 17 year olds away in top end gear, like it's awful hard to, like.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's why I'd be saying, like, there is a future in agriculture for lads. It is no longer just a job for the summer, you know, or a job for 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think a lot of lads that are involved in this now are running a great show.
Yeah.
You look at the gear that's out there now, contractors, and they're running, do you know, they're all professional men, like.
Yeah, all the cowboys are kind of gone now, like.
You look at it like, what's there now, they're all good quality contractors. They're at it for years. They're running top class gear. They're running good gear. Even if it's old gear, it's good gear. And that's what I'd see now. A lot of the contractors that are out there, there's professionals you'll meet anywhere, even in any country. There's what we have here in this country. There are some great contractors. I consider they're great men. They give great service. Yeah, and they're great to feed the farmers.
I see that, yeah.
They give, like, your man brought us for the breakfast here now this morning.
Yeah.
So you were there yesterday.
You get fed twice yesterday, did you?
Yeah, twice yesterday, yeah. Christ, tonight has been... this year has been an exceptional year when it comes to food.
Yeah.
Other years seem to be different, hit and miss, and COVID was messy too, do you know, but God, our customers are great, like, they'll bring us in and you'll get a dinner in the middle of the day, and like, if you can get that alone, that's
or you go to the pub there and they'll pay for it, like.
Yeah, that's it. No, we only do that here because it's in the half barrel they have, and they've such a great find say, food there, we'll say. You wouldn't get that really anywhere else now. You'd be brought into the house. That'd be it, you know. And it's nice. Christ is lovely. So it's a good dinner in the middle of the day and set you up for the rest of the day. Like.
Oh, so you go on longer in the evening then?
Yeah. So, but like, we're not meant either to run late. We'd pack it up at 10 or 11. That's it. I'm not. I'd start at 5.
All right.
I'm not a man for running into the night at all.
Yeah.
I maintain start at 5 o'clock or half 5. That'll do. You know. So, working in the jacks is a disaster. We always try to kind of average 10 acres an hour, like.
Yeah.
And that's why I let him off. He said there was 10 acres here, but it's heavier too, but it looks of it, you know.
Right, Pastor, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for having me out.
Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed North.
That's right, go cracking here, that's the main thing.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it. And the scenery is nice, and the weather is good, and that makes it very picturesque, isn't it?